Are we ready, guys? Bryan Cohen.
Thank you, thank you. The intro was a little long, but it's all right. Because this is going to be short. This is going to be, because I'm always succinct. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I really do appreciate it. Come settle in, settle in. Nothing really good happens for 5 minutes, so. I love this. I love being on stage with y'all. And because it does feel like that. It was kind of I misspoke. But I do feel like I'm up here with you guys because it's just such an experience to be able to share. I always subscribe to the Stephen Covey idea. When you learn something, you try to teach it right away because you kind of retain about 90% of what you teach. So I always try to give you guys stuff that is new, recent, that I've tried. So I hope you guys enjoy this. This is an interesting conference because you have everything, right? Every little thing you want to learn, everything you could learn, you've either picked it up in here or you've picked it up like 10 miles down the hallway on the second floor. You've picked it all up. And it's great. And I love it. And I love that there's so many opportunities. And if you're in a certain place in your career, you can pick up like all this great higher level stuff. But I'll tell you what, every speaker is kind of saying something without saying it. They're saying, this thing I'm teaching you right now is your top priority. This audiobook thing is your top priority. This editing thing is your top priority. But they're not saying it. I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it here. You guys know me if you listen to Sell More Book Show. Who listened to the Sell More Book Show? Cheer. Don't raise your hand. Cheer. I should have given more instruction. This should be a very vocal presentation, by the way. Get ready for that. Warm up your cords. So I'm going to say that if you are unhappy with where you are in your level of income, you've published 3 books, you've published 5 books, and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty much at break even or the other thing. You don't know the profit thing. You know the other thing, I've lost money on this thing. I did improv comedy for 10 years. I think I made negative $15,000 off of it. So I know what the other thing is like. But I'm saying if you're in that situation, pay attention, take notes. I'll give the slides out eventually. I haven't done that yet. Sorry, James, because I have not given those slides out. But I'm going to say if you're in that position, this is going to be really helpful for you. So my friend Swam, best friend ever, best man at my wedding, he was going through this breakup, this really rough breakup in 2012. And he had these tickets to go to California with his now ex-girlfriend. And I was like, oh, man, like, I'll go with you. I'll go with you to LA. I've never been to LA. I'd never seen In-N-Out Burger. Who's a big In-N-Out Burger fan? All right, yep, with the woos, yeah. We want the woos. Turn up the woo. So, not woo-woo, but turn up the woo. Okay. So I went I booked my ticket. I was all ready. About 4 or 5 days beforehand, I get a call. I had recently auditioned for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And I get a call 5 days beforehand, and they say, hey, you free next week? I'm sure. Yeah, I'm free. I'll go. I'll go to your game show. I'll play your games. And I didn't want to abandon Swam, so I plan on flying to LA, and then after the trip, I'll fly back to Chicago. Next day, fly to New York. So it was a wild trip. And so I'm in California. I'm at an In-N-Out Burger. And Swam is quizzing me for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So I'm going through practice questions. It was kind of like this. You don't get to bite the burger unless you answer the question. It's an artist's representation. And I had basically, if you lose in Millionaire, you go back down to $1,000. And I had 3 straight practice quizzes, guessed, gambled, and went back down to $1,000. And on the 3rd time, I guessed, got it wrong, and swam. All good best friends yell at you when you're being stupid. That's might be the biggest takeaway here. If your best friend isn't yelling at you when you're being stupid, get a new best friend. But Swam said, "What's wrong with you, man? You could have gotten $6,000 if you'd guessed that question right and then walked away." And I said, "Well, yeah, but you leave with 1,000, 6,000 is not that much bigger. I want the big money. I want to do the big things. I want to do the big risk." And Swam said, "You're being an idiot." I can hear that in his voice in my head. "You're being an idiot. I want you to tell me something. Would $6,000 make a significant difference in your life? Would not going for the big thing make a significant difference in your life?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." And he was right. He was right. When you have an opportunity to maybe make a small win, but you kick it to the side because you're like, "No, I'm going to write 20 books in a row and burn myself to the ground." Not going to burn out. I'm going to burn myself to the ground. And I decided, Swam is my best friend. I don't want him to yell at me anymore. He's really emotional since the breakup. So I decided, all right, I'll play his game. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to walk away. And if all my lifelines are gone, all that fun stuff. So how many of you, this will be a hand raise, then there's going to be a verbal thing. How many of you agree that an extra $500 a month, $6,000 a year, $500 a month, would make a significant difference in your life? Raise your hand. So we're going to repeat after me. I'll start with the first one, then I'll do the second one. Repeat after me. An extra $500 a month would make a significant difference in my life. You guys are all so great. We're going to be doing that again later. But I feel like I'm a rabbi. I don't know why. But so I want you guys to think about that for a second, because we're going to talk about the small a little bit. We're going to talk about $500 a month, not necessarily $50K a month. It's several factors down. So how did I do when I stopped gambling? How did I do when I played it Swam's way? Well, I'll tell you guys later. So, I know, right? Such a tease. Oh, I need to pay attention in case he sneaks it in. But Bryan, this isn't a game show conference. I don't want you to worry. I didn't wander into the wrong casino or something. We're going to talk about books. We're going to talk about books. You can tell I don't have this memorized because I'm like, oh yeah. Okay. So now verbally, how would you like more reliable profit? Can I get a woo? All right, cool. So I got 4 steps here. This is the presentation. I'm going to go into each of these 4 steps. I want to leave a lot of time for Q&A. I hear that we don't put the mic out until the end so that y'all don't trip over it. That's very nice, when you think about it. So, it's a little, it gives you, it has an opinion about you guys, but it's really, really nice. Save you from yourselves. Step 1, get 100 Amazon ad clicks. Why do I pick Amazon over Facebook and BookBub? Usually, these are the most affordable and reliable clicks. I was just talking to somebody earlier. Facebook ads, when it says a link click, it doesn't necessarily mean they actually made it off of Facebook to your page, which, what the heck is, what are they doing? Where do they go in between? Like, apparently you get 100 link clicks and it's like 70 people make it. Like, did they die? Did 30% of my clickers pass away while trying to get to the website and Facebook detected it? I don't know. BookBub ads, I love them. They'll spend a lot of money really quickly. And it's still a jump. They're still going from one platform to another. I like Amazon ad clicks because they're on Amazon and they buy from Amazon. We're not going to go into ads to Kobo and other wonderful places today. Same concepts would apply, though. So get 100 Amazon ad clicks to the same book, the same box set, the same book one. That's step one. Step two is to check your profit and your conversion rate. So profit makes sense. You spent less money than you made. You made more money than the amount you spent. You guys can be honest with me. Who doesn't know how to calculate conversion rate? Who doesn't know how to calculate, leave hands up for a sec. Who doesn't know how to calculate conversion rate when you factor in Kindle Unlimited pages? Okay, more hands. So we're going to talk about that today. And thank you for your honesty. It means a lot to me. That didn't sound like it meant a lot to me, but I do actually appreciate honesty, so my apologies. Step three is kind of two parts. If they're good, if the conversion rate is good, and I'll go into what that means. If the profit is good, then you run more ads, because why not? Making money. Let's run more ads. It just makes sense. Even if you were to hit a budget number, and I understand the plight of this goes on the credit card, I pay that next month, and then I have to wait longer to get the money. I do understand that, and obviously that needs to be considered. But if the ads are making a profit, like there's the old story of Adam Croft, who was like ransoming his friends' credit cards to spend more because his return was so high. If he'd stopped, he might be a 5-figure author instead of a 7-figure author. Don't ransom your friends' credit cards unless you're making like 20 to 1 like he was. But it's something to keep in mind. If they are not good, if the profit and conversion are not good, if there's no profit and the conversion is not the best number in the world, then you can change your blurb, which we'll talk about. And I have some throat coat tea, by the way, y'all, if anybody needs any. It's in my bag right there. I can just throw them out like Oprah. So I have a funny story about that at some point. But you change your blurb, and then you repeat the steps. Because if you just skip step 2, and you go to step 3, and you say, I think my numbers are bad, I'm going to change something. What if they were actually not that bad? What if they were actually slightly profitable when you factored in things like read-through, people reading the other books in the series, all of that stuff? What if you skip that? Then you don't have a baseline. You don't have anything to compare it to. You have the same wonky idea of the numbers as you did before and after. So you don't really know, did changing a blurb, changing a cover actually matter? So you need to do step 2, or step 3 does not matter, because you'll still have no real clue if you're actually profitable or if you're converting well. And then step 4, because step 3B, eventually the hope is they get good, and then you move on to step 4, where you rinse and repeat. We're going to go into all these in more depth. Now, I know this sounds kind of simple, like 4 steps, you know, he's probably selling something. I'm not selling something. But if it sounds pretty simple, it is simple, but I want you to keep in mind, simple and easy are different things. This is not easy. I'm not going to lie to you and say this is easy. I just did this 5-day Amazon Ad Profit Challenge. Anyone in the room take part in the Profit Challenge? Awesome. Thank you. Y'all should join them next time. It's free. So now I am selling something. Because a free thing, though. All right. But there were people who had such trouble with Microsoft Excel or had such trouble working through the Amazon advertising dashboard that they had a hard time with something simple. So simple and easy are different. This is going to be simple. You're only going to need to write down 4 steps. But completing them is a little bit difficult. I'm going to try to walk you through, guide you over the difficult parts. But at the end of this, if there's time for Q&A, or if there's not, I'll be in the hallway. Pepper me with as many questions as possible. If anyone's ever been to my webinars, you know that sometimes they go into the 2.5-hour territory because I'm answering every freaking question. Thank you to everyone who sticks around there for all that time. But I like to answer questions, and I'm not scary, very short. You can't see that necessarily up here. But if, like, Jamie Davis was here standing next to me, you'd be like, oh, Brian's really not intimidating. So ask me questions. And look, I'm going to tell you something you're probably not going to remember in the heat of the moment. I really want you to. Like, that I'm actually honest about. I really, really want to. But I'm worried that you're not going to. And that is that profit is all about patience. Ooh, who doesn't like patience? Tell me if you don't like patience. I know. Me neither. I don't like patience either. I want to rush. I want to go fast. I really, really do. But the problem is that rushing often leads to no profit. So keep this in mind. Everything I talk about today is underpinned by this. All right, let's talk about getting those 100 Amazon ad clicks. There we go. I'm like, oh, it wasn't clicking. Gather 10 to 50 sets of around 100 keywords each. So not 10 to 50 sets of 1,000 keywords. There's been advice over the years, and different advice given at different times, that you should always pack your Amazon ads, which have a maximum of 1,000 keywords, with all of them. I don't think you have to do that. Felicia Beasley, who gave a talk the other day, I really listened to her guidance on this and Amazon's guidance. There is actually support documentation that says around 100 keywords. Thankfully, Yasiv, YASIV.com, is a really nice free site that basically lets you pull your also bots and bestseller books, also bots, and the top 100 books in your category, also bots, and they're also bots, also bots. If you're like, how do you get to 50? That's how you get to 50. You just keep hunting around Amazon. That book looks good. Throw it into Yasiv. There's 100 keywords. I've got a new set. Let's keep doing this. Put on some Netflix. You know, this is not like a, I'm really thinking about this intently thing. Put on some Netflix. Go gather a whole crap ton of keywords. Each of those sets of about 100 is going to go into a new ad. So 10 to 50 sets leads to 10 to 50 ads. So I recommend low bids on Amazon. I know that there are some genres, and I forgot to bring my water over here, so I'm just going to keep talking on my lavalier mic as I go get my water. I could get my coffee, my drugs. So I don't have any drugs with me. They're all upstairs. So I'll tell you later. Okay. So I know there are some genres that are very competitive, and Amazon says there is a suggested bid for either a particular book or a category. Amazon is suggesting a bid that will place you very high in the carousel of ads. But we don't necessarily want to go high if the suggested bid is $10 per click. And that's what this bid is. This is how much it costs when someone clicks on an ad. and there's a whole like system, like you bid 20, it might be 18, that's fine. You won't pay more than that if you select the standard is dynamic bid down. They'll bid what you say or lower, and that's what it is standard. If you play around with that, you'll bid higher. You'll either bid the same or you'll bid higher. So I recommend between 20 and 40 cents on the US store. And recently, Amazon recently like made a whole bunch of changes. Who has seen them? Who has seen some of these like, crap, I knew how to do this, and now they've moved some stuff around. And you can actually, there's two ways to do an ad where you use copy, custom ad, custom text ad, or you don't use copy, it just shows up with just your title, your cover, and your reviews. And if you do standard with no copy, you can add more than one book. It's like having multiple ads in the same ad. It's kind of like Facebook ad sets. So you could take the ebook version of your book and the paperback version of your book, say standard text, and then say, I want that one and that one. Could you do all 7 books in a 7-book series? You could. I don't know how effective it'll be. Someone's seeing your book 5 ad, they haven't read book 1. But there's a lot of new possibilities, and we haven't all had a chance to test them. But for the ebook and paperback of the same book, that makes sense to me. So 20 to 40 cents on the US. I would say on the UK, probably lower, like maybe 15 cents. In Germany, maybe like 8 to 10 cents. And I know it's not cents, it's pence. What are euro cents? I don't know. Is there cents? Geez, that's confusing. All right. So ignore orders, sales, and advertising cost of sale. I had a nice chat with the Amazon ad lady during the Amazon office hours. And I was listening in on a conversation, and we were talking about ACOS. And people were saying, yeah, it's so unreliable. She's like, I know, right? She didn't say I know, right, but that made it sound so much better. She did agree that it is not necessarily the primary statistic you should be looking at on Amazon. To how many people did that just like blow your mind? Yeah, because I know a lot of people who've turned off ads because their ACOS was above 35 to 70%. I have ads with over 1,000% that have been very profitable. I have one ad that split between an 800%, 1,300% ACOS, which is this whole like, how much it costs to get a sale, how much you spent to get a sale. And so if it's like 800%, it's like you spent $8 to make $1. Hooray! And those ads made me $14,000. So F ACOS. And orders and sales are basically what makes ACOS up. Amazon does not do a great job of tracking. The Amazon ad lady said, we would love to track Kindle Unlimited pages read, but it's a different data set, and it won't really probably ever work. So ignore those 3 things, especially if your book is in Kindle Unlimited. So why do we do this? Because a low bid is a lower risk. Swam told me not to gamble. This is the version of that for creating ads. Don't gamble. Do a low bid at first. Do a low bid at first because, and eventually you might increase it if you see, hey, I have a lot of profit. But to start, low bid. It's going to be lower risk. Step 2, check your profit and conversion rate. Math alert. I apologize. We're going to talk about math. Get all your tears out. So, who doesn't know about the KDP beta report dashboard? You can say if you don't. All right, so this is the URL, kdpreports.amazon.com/royalties. If you don't have software like Book Report or Reader Links, this is a really good alternative because you can look at how much money you made from both KU and from your sales. This is really helpful when you're comparing it to ad spend because it's just looking at one number in one place and one number in another place rather than Excel wizardry. It is run by wizards, right, Microsoft? Okay, just checking. That's the last time I checked. Okay, so you're going to look at your royalties on somewhere like the KDP beta report or Reader Links or wherever, and you're going to look at your ad spend on your ad dashboard. Why don't we look at your sales on your ad dashboard? Because it doesn't track everything. So we have to look here, especially if your book is in Kindle Unlimited. Don't trust the ad dashboard for anything but clicks and ad spend. And even clicks is like a little wonky. Ad spend's like 3 days delayed. We do the best with what we have. So see which one's bigger. If your royalties are bigger, you made a profit. I like to look at a particular month because you can look on that royalties dash and say, I want to look at last month. Then you have to say, well, what do you want to give it for KU value? I'm like, last month's? I don't know. And then you look at that, and you see how that compares to your ad spend on your Amazon ad dashboard. It's a good idea to name all your ads similarly. So if you only want to look at one particular book, you maybe have an abbreviation. For my viral superhero series, I say TVS. And then I search TVS, and it comes up with the ad spend just for that book. Now remember to click X after you're done, because I have all these people like, oh, my data's gone. I'm like, are you searching something? Yes. So just stop searching something, and then all your data will come up. It's amazing. Pick the right dates, too. Like if you weren't running any ads last month and you're looking at last month, yes, no data will come up. It's magical. There's wizards there, too. Check the number of sales and KU equivalent sales. This is your conversion rate. So this is how conversion rate factors into Kindle Unlimited. You've got your number of sales. That's pretty easy. You can actually look at that on the KDP report dashboard, too. But the KU equivalent sales, what do I mean? There is a sneaky place somewhere on your Amazon KDP dashboard. Well, they're actually going to tell you how many Kindle pages, not the number of paperback pages in your paperback edition, but the number of KU pages in your book. It's going to say KENPC V3.0. That's Kindle edition normalized pages count version 3.0. I don't know. I think that was right. But it's weird. But it'll then say, like, your book is 300 Kindle pages, or your book is 500 Kindle pages. And you have to, like, hunt to find it on, like, your promotions page, which is this whole weird thing. So I can walk you guys through that. But basically, if your KU book is 500 Kindle pages, and you had 10,000 pages for the month, divide the big number by the little number, 10,000, here's the math, 10,000 divided by 500 to get 20. 20 people read my Kindle Unlimited book from cover to cover. And that's the number we need for conversion rate. So let's say you had 20 regular sales and 20 KU equivalent sales. That counts as 40. Now, I want to say if you write short stories or you write children's books, yes, the conversion rate's going to look really good because your book is like 2 pages long. So this is really a better formula for long novellas and novels. For children's books, your conversion rate is probably going to need to be better. For short stories, it's going to need to be better than the average. So what is the average? What do we want to hit? 10 to 1 is a good number for a novel. 10 to 1 is a good number. I've had books make me a profit at 18 to 1, but usually they're higher priced, like an $8.99 box set. 10 to 1 is pretty good, as I trip and fall to my death. He died on stage, just like those guys clicking on my Facebook ads. 10 to 1 or better is pretty good. 5 to 1 is probably what you want to shoot for if you had a much shorter book. And so that is how many clicks it takes for someone to buy your book or read it on KU. So let's say it was that example, 40 people bought it, and it was 800 clicks. 800 divided by 40 is 20. So your conversion rate would be 20 clicks to get 1 sale. So obviously, if it took fewer clicks to get that number of sales, then, thank you, then you would be making more money. So you want to look at your profit. Did I make money? And your conversion for one particular book. Did I make money? And what was my conversion rate? If both are good, that's great. If both are good, you could run more ads. If you're making money but conversion rate isn't so good, you still might be able to run more ads because, hey, you're making money. But if both are below kind of where you want to be, you don't have a profit, conversion rate's bad, then we'll go into what to do for that. So, I don't want any of you in this room to ever guess again. I think the book isn't doing so well, so I'm going to change something. You don't need to. If you do this, you don't ever need to guess again. I don't know if my book is doing well. Well, Bryan told you what to do. And if you say, I guess I need a new book description, I run a book description company. I don't want to take your money if you're guessing. I use that money to like buy fancy hats, but I don't want your money. Cover up this hair, never. I don't want your money if you're guessing. I want your money if you've done the math and said, this needs a better blurb. Now, I'm still going to go over how to do it on your own so you don't even see, no money spent. It's a beautiful thing. But I don't want you to guess. If you use this data, you won't need to guess. Step 3A, if they're good, get more keywords, run more ads, do auto ads. Felicia went over this in her talk. Do more auto ads, do more category ads. Auto ads, Amazon picks, based on your keywords and categories, who it's going to serve it to. Category ads, Amazon sends it to every book in the category. Now, that's where the suggested bid really comes in. Do you want to bid $20 to be on the first page of Contemporary Romance? No! I don't want to be on that. That's not that important to me. But bidding that 20 to 40 cents is still important at this stage of the game. UK ads, they just opened up UK. Advertising.amazon.com is US. .co.uk is UK. And .de is Germany. So you now have access to all of those platforms. But bid lower in the UK and bid especially low in Germany. Okay, show of hands. Who has downloaded their advertising report off of Amazon? Okay, so about half. In the top left of Amazon advertising, there's 3 horizontal lines. It didn't used to be there. They hid it for some reason. You click on that, and it has a little dashboard that says campaigns or reports. You click on reports. Auto ads and category ads, when they're running, you don't know what Amazon is sending them to. The ad report tells you. Let that sink in. We used to not really know what the auto and category ads were targeting. Not everybody had access to the ad reports. I believe it was just on Amazon Advantage accounts. But everything that gets a click or a click and a sale is on your ad report. You can look up to 60 days. It's a search term report. It's what it's set at. But then if you'd like make any changes, it keeps setting you back to just looking at 7 days. I want more than 7 days of data. So set it to 60 days. Look at your data, and every 60 days, give yourself a reminder, download my data, because it will go away. And you'll get to see every clue. Wow, this book that I spent $5 on got me $40 in sales. I should probably target that like crazy. I should run ads to all the also bots. You could even consider other types of ads, like product targeting ads, where you target a single Amazon number at a time. Follow the clues, because that's where you'll see, wow, that keyword did better than expected. And on that ad report, it's going to show the ASIN number and ISBN number if someone clicked from a category. So you actually have to copy, paste onto Amazon to see what the book is, which is a pain. Maybe they'll fix that someday. If the ROI is good, profit goes up. Who saw that post by Pierre Alex Jaunty in the 20Books group last couple of weeks? The guy who made $128,000 last month? Okay, not that many. Look at those posts. So he made $128,000 on $73,000 in ad spend. That's $55,000 in profit. That is not one of those fancy 100% ROIs, but $55,000 in profit. Take it down a couple powers of 10. Would you spend $72 to make $128? Would you spend $720 to make 100? I totally lost it. I totally lost it. Math, live math, everybody. Would you spend $720 to make $1,200? And you power a 10 it up, you power a 10 it up. That's ROI. It means you have to spend a lot more than you're comfortable with, but you make a return. If they're bad, I'm just going to put these all here. So I like it when people do a whole, tweak their whole book description, but it's a lot easier to fix one line. One hook, the first line of your book description must be related to love, death, or enlightenment. If it's not, the stakes are not high enough. So at Best Page Forward, we based it on the #1 conflict for your book. Protagonist wants something, but something is standing in their way. Harry Potter just found out about magic, but the most powerful wizard in the world wants to kill him. Death. It needs to be high stakes. That conflict was big enough for 7 books and 8 movies. So think about that before you write your book, too. Think about death, love, and enlightenment. What you're going to do is you're going to write your conflict down. Write your #1 conflict. And then you're going to write 15 to 20 different versions of it. But I don't want your editor brain anywhere near this. Take your editor brain, shove it in a box, and use your writing brain. Use your first draft brain. I want you to just come up. I want you to sprint. How many people did a writing sprint while they were here? I want a marketing sprint. I want a copywriting sprint. Because you need these. These might even be more important. You're writing book 6 of a series that doesn't sell. Fine. Write this. It will sell your book. It will sell book 1. Then people might get to book 6. So write 15 to 20 versions. Send it to your readers, ideally, because they're the ones buying your book, not a bunch of crotchety authors. I don't like this word. Readers aren't going to talk like that. They're going to talk about the emotions. I see. Change that hook, and then you are going to want to repeat the steps. So, oh, I missed the little part. After your readers vote, pick their #1 option, the one they liked the most. Put that in your description as the new line 1, and then run the 100 ad clicks again. And if you want, when I'll be out in the lobby after, give me your hook. I will tell you what it needs. And if you don't take me up on that, that's on you. Fix one line and then test the crap out of it. And look, you could do this for every book, every series entry point, every box set, every standalone. And you should. You can also test this for all new releases. Maybe wait until after 30 days. Wait until a little after that Amazon cliff. I wonder if Amazon knows we come up with all these weird terms for shit. Like, seriously. Like, do they know? I don't know. Oh, thank you. Are there Amazon ad reps here? Yeah. Or Amazon reps? It's nice to see you. I was just quoting y'all. Okay. Amazon ads, look, here's a feather in y'all's cap. Amazon ads are underpriced. They're not as underpriced as they were in 2017, but they're underpriced. What was that? Okay. Oh, I get it. See, I'm like in my own head. Don't raise the prices. Be nice to us. We're just little authors. So, they're currently underpriced, and so we need to use them. Eventually, they will be fairly priced, and we'll still need to use them. Someday, they are going to be overpriced. But if you're waiting for the right time to start, it's now, before they get home. And if you do this, and if you work this, and you continue to test and use data, you can do this for the rest of your author career. I know this is scary, like going to prison. I know it. I looked up GIF hesitation and saw this and was like, OMG. I know it's scary, but you're going to learn by doing. Like, you can think about it all day long. Let's say you try this and it doesn't work. I mean, the worst case scenario, you figured out, hey, this book isn't profitable. Let's move on to something else. I have multiple friends who've done that and then became six-figure authors. But what if it is successful? What if it actually does work? Well then, hey, then we're going to keep running more ads. We're going to keep that ROI. And we're going to get that $500 because, as some of you said before, one line then the next line, an extra $500 a month. Some of you repeated the first one. Some of you repeated the second one. I did say first line, then second line. I gave you everything I could. But I appreciate it. So, the recap of the 4 steps. Get those ad clicks on one book. Check your profit and conversion rate for that one book. If they're good, run more. If they're bad, fix the hook. And then repeat the steps. Then you're going to rinse and repeat. Now, this isn't going for the big win. Getting $10, $20 at a time will make a huge difference. And based on some of the awesome stuff people are doing in this building, I understand that it might seem like a waste when you could go for the 10K, go for the 20K. But slowly but surely can lead to some incredible wins. Case in point, this is me doing a fist bump explode with my wife. Case in point, what did playing safe get me? If I were a gambling man, I'd go with D, but I think I'm going to walk away.
That you're not a gambling man anymore because William Howard Taft was actually the correct answer. And you're walking away with $20,300. You did the right thing. You really did. You're right back to there right after.
Thanks, guys. Does this work for books? So far, so slow, so good. Thank you. I know this is a tenth of some of the stuff people have made this month in this building, but an extra $500 would make a significant difference in your life. So, sorry I took a little long. You can see me more. I am the MC of Self-Publishing Live 2020. If you go to 2 events a year, you could go to this one in Chicago. It's at selfpublishinglive.com. We're about a third sold out. I am posting 75 free pieces of content to social media every week. So if you don't want to pay money, but you want learning, I'm putting it out there. It's on all the socials. You can email me with any questions, Bryan@sellingforauthors.com. And I will be in the back. Well, I'll start in the front, go in the back. But I really appreciate you guys letting me speak today. Thank you.